What is up, everybody? It is time for some Rakdos Arcanist in Pioneer. Really looking forward to playing the updated version of this deck. The last time we played this deck was pre ban. Totally blanking on the name of the card that was banned. Corey Steelcutter. And the deck felt strong, but Corey was a little bit hard to outgrind. And now that Corey is banned, the format has gotten a lot more linear. And I think this combination of Thoughtseize plus Dreadhorde Arcanist has the potential to be really strong. I've done some testing off stream. The deck has felt really good. We have made one big change to the deck, and that change is Blood Tithe Harvester. So I want to talk about that for a little bit. What this does to the deck is it is another way to trigger our Moonshadow to grow it. And it makes this blood token, and this blood token can be really nice to cycle away cards like our Claim the Firstborn and our Village Rites in matchups that they're not good. The last time we played this deck, we were losing some matches because we were playing Claim the Firstborn against decks like Blue White Control, and they were just getting clogged up in our hand, and we weren't able to cast them. So the blood token off the Blood Tithe Harvester is able to cycle these cards away in matchups where it's not good. We can discard a Kroxa if we want to get it in the graveyard, but we usually like to just cast Kroxa instead. The blood tokens are also sacrificable to this 2 of Deadly Dispute that we added for a little bit of card advantage. That comes up occasionally. It is nice when it comes up. It's also just removal. It's really nice when we go like turn 1 Moonshadow, turn 2 Blood Tithe Harvester, and then turn 3 we're sacrificing the Blood Tithe Harvester, killing something. We have a blood token to cycle away. It's played really well. The other thing that's nice is this is another way we can win that doesn't use the graveyard and can put some pressure on slower decks instead of just having to wait around for our Kroxas. And again, if this is the first time you're seeing the deck, this is really a Kroxa deck. We have 4 Stitcher suppliers to be milling Kroxas, to be filling up the graveyard for our Kroxas. And we're playing these Claim the Firstborns. This is really nice with Village Rites. We can steal their creatures, sacrifice it for 2 cards. It can also give Kroxa haste. We also have some nice synergies with Dreadhorde Arcanist here. Dreadhorde Arcanist flashing back Thoughtseize, very strong. Dreadhorde Arcanist flashing back Village Rites, very strong. And we have the nice synergy of Heartless Act to remove counters from Moonshadow or to kill a creature. Notably in testing, I have been running into more of the ooze, the Ophelioid. That does make me want to run less Heartless Acts. We'll continue to see how it feels in testing today. I'm down to 2. I was on 3 before. There's been a lot of Ophelioids lately. I ran into even a Simic Merfolk deck that was running it as a way to win the game, so that's something to note. We have the Claim to Fames. This is nice to bring back Kroxa. We can give Kroxa haste. We can buff Dreadhorde Arcanist to flashback something bigger. Another nice synergy there. Again, we have Stitcher Supplier to fill the graveyard for our Kroxas. We can sacrifice it to Village Rites or the Deadly Disputes for some card parity and to just fill the graveyard. And yeah, just really a very low to the ground Rakdos deck. The theory behind this deck is, how does Rakdos midrange look if we're not playing the big high-end grind package like Mutavault and Unholy Annex, and we're just looking to win the game fast with proactive threats like Moonshadow, Dreadhorde Arcanist, and Kroxa. We'll scroll down. Here's the mana base here. Pretty basic. Nothing crazy here. Just 1 Soken's 2 Aghanim's Awakening. I cut the red Bolt Land Shatter Skull Smashing. It was just never coming up. And the 3 life is a real cost. since last time, we've made some big changes to the sideboard. Getting a little bit more comfortable in the Pioneer metagame now, so getting a better idea of what we want to be sideboarding. I think right now, if you're in red, 3 Alpine Moons are a requirement. There is a ton of Lotus Field in on the ladder right now. The Stirrings variants, the Scapeshift variants, it is super common deck. You want to be prepared for Lotus Field. Alpine Moon, I think, is the best way in these Rakdos decks to sideboard for it. You want to have some amount of sideboard cards for those matchups. I want to test Fire Magic today. It's looked pretty good in testing. I like that you can flash it back with Dreadhorde Arcanist. I like that it's an instant. It's played pretty well. Only 2 Ray of Enfeeblements. This is for green-white. And life gain if we run into that. Just 1 mana, kill their creatures. We're up to 2 Feed the Swarms. I want to see how this plays today. I don't think the life gain will be too big of a deal, but there has been a lot of enchantment-based graveyard hate, and this deck really struggles with enchantment-based graveyard hate. I've seen lots of ley lines, lots of rips, so having an answer to those is pretty much essential now. We weren't seeing as many of those before the ban, but after the ban, I've been seeing a ton of enchantment-based graveyard hate, so we've got these Feed the Swarms here. 2 Abrades, lots of unlicensed hearses too. There's a lot of graveyard hate running around, which isn't great for this deck, but we can win through it. So, but we do have these to answer the graveyard hate. Go blank for the Izzet decks, the control decks. And this is my grindy matchup card that I've been wanting to try. He plays very well with the Blood Tithe Harvester of making a 3 mana Obnixilis. Oh, sorry. Just cut him out there. Haven't Nixilis. Sorry, get that second one back in there. The card's been all right in testing. I want to test it some more. I like that it's 3 mana. A lot of the other grindy options are 4, and that can be a little bit much. I like that he can come down pretty quick and start pressuring the opponent. Let's keep a note on how Obnixilis plays today and how often we bring it in. We'll bring it in Golgari and see if we're able to grind with them against Delian. This is one of the test cards for the sideboard. I'm still trying to find out what the best grindy cards for these mid-range decks are. But I think that is it for the deck tech. We've gone over all the cards. Here is the list again. Really excited for this one. This deck is super fun to play. This hand is pretty good here. We can go Moonshadow into Kroxa, trigger Moonshadow. So what is the... Oh, is this the same person? What's the third mode on 3 Steps Ahead again? Oh, man. Can we play against something else, please? Well, we have triple Moonshadow. Let's see if we can aggro our Selesnya opponent out here. Do they have Collected Company? Turn 2 Enduring Innocence, turn 3 Collected Company is... All right, looks like they have Collected Company here. Third mode is Draw 2. Sorry, but what is... So it's Draw 2, Discard 2, Counter Target Spell. What is the other mode that it can do? All right. Play Stitcher Supplier here. We're getting Collected Companied. All right, we trigger our Moonshadows. And let's play Kroxa. Oh, so copy target artifact. Oh, so you can copy the Insect Aberration to have another 3/2. That's pretty cool. All right, we make our opponent discard here. We get to attack with 3/3/3 Moonshadows. Let's see what they hit off the Collected Company. discard 1 for draw 2, so it's still... Oh, this is Angels. Okay. So still card parity then? Yeah, because you have 6 cards in hand, cast the spell, go down to 5, draw 2 up to 7, discard. Yeah, so card... It's at least card parity. But if you get to... I guess if you get to counter a spell, then it's card advantage. All right, opponent plays an Elvish Mystic here, draws a card. Do they have... All right, they have this Righteous Valkyrie. They have Giada. We will block here, potentially get 2 Moonshadow triggers here. All right, we find Claim to Fame, and we do find our second Moonshadow trigger. All right, we have 3 5/5s. An opponent concedes. All right, I don't know if we had lethal there. All right, Ray of Enfeeblements in... Wow, that was... Triple Moonshadow is pretty nuts. Fire Magic, I think, is worse against Angels, so we're not going to bring this in. Let's try Feed the Swarms. Yeah, I don't think Fire Magic is actually good enough in this matchup. Claim the Firstborn seems actually better against Angels because they are playing more 3-drops. It is a little bit slow. Go down a Deadly Dispute. Go down the Heartless Axe. And I guess trim the Flashback. All right, run it like that. Just to fill the slot's been all right. Just wanted to test Gaze and Delver plus see how it not... Back to the Fairy Plan after. Yeah, no, that's sweet. Good to hear that it played pretty well. All right, this is... Oh, man. Another one-lander. We're on the draw this time. And we have... Actually, this hand isn't that great, even if we draw a land. We're just playing turn... Well, turn 2 Blood Tithe Harvester. This is a really close one. Let's mulligan. We got punished last time. All right, this hand is better. Put back Blood Crypt. Yeah, that Village Rites art is sick. All right, really didn't want another land there. All right, start off with a Thoughtseize. Oh, this is new art for Resplendent Angel. All right, we don't... I don't love letting them get Giada down. Oh, man, so we take... I think we have to take Resplendent Angel. Well, this doesn't do anything if they can't gain life. So we take Righteous Valkyrie. Righteous Valkyrie. Opponent... Oh, wow. All right. Super good top deck from them. So now we have to take... Well, so they gain 4, which is not 5 for Resplendent Angel. So are we taking the other Righteous Valkyrie? It's close. Yeah, that was a super good draw from them. We don't hit a Kroxa. All right, they play the Giada. All right, this is probably the best draw we could have had. Still no Kroxa. All right, nice. Ray of Enfeeblement plus another Thoughtseize. Let's go. So Thoughtseize them again. Take this Resplendent Angel. I don't feel bad at all about doing this to mono way at life game, by the way. And I don't think we need to kill either of these. So they drew a collect. Oh, what did they draw? Are they playing the turtle? They're trying to cast something. Wow, what a top deck from our opponent here. They top deck the Super Collected Company. Sleep plus Aether. Oh man. Okay, so they hit a Bishop of or a Resplendent Angel. This is not going to trigger. Okay, so we take one. Let's just kill this. They get a Spirit. All right, what's in our graveyard here? We can get back Stitcher Supplier plus Blood Tithe Harvester. Oh, sorry, only. All right, we'll wait a turn. Yeah, that top decked Michelangelo's technique probably going to be the death of us. All right, they replay the Giada. We draw a Blood Tithe Harvester, but let's just Agadeem's Awakening for 2 here. Get back Blood Tithe Harvester plus Stitcher's Supplier. They're at 31. Next turn, we can play second Blood Tithe Harvester to be able to kill something with 4 toughness. They have 3 power in the air. All right, so they attack for 3. Did they draw a Collected Company? All right, just a land. All right, we draw Moonshadow. So let's just go Moonshadow, second Blood Tithe Harvester, and kill Giada. Grow Moonshadow. All right, they make another Spirit. Once I have the fairy list built, I'll have the Jund quicker, and then probably need to UB Delving Delver list. Realize they share chunks of their list. Yeah, there are a lot of repeat cards there. That'll be sweet, though, to get all of those together. Let's see, our opponent is tapping Llanowar Elf, untapping. All right, they have another. Is this their third? Oh, no, only their second. What does this do? Other permanents have hexproof. Oh, boy. Kroxa is not it. So let's discard this Kroxa. Trigger Moonshadow. All right, we find another Blood Tithe Harvester. This can't kill the Sigarda, though. And this has hexproof, and we're just dead on board. Yeah, all right, good game. Well, we can all right, we can discard the Blood Tithe Harvester. Try to draw Dreadhorde Arcanist. No way to give it haste. All right, game 3. These Selesnya decks are brutal for Rakdos. All right, we saw. I don't think we're bringing in Fire Magic for the tokens from Bishop of Wings. I hope to see more Moonshadows. I think Moonshadow's really cool. I think I was looking at a different type of like Rakdos sacrifice brew that was playing a lot more one drops to trigger Moonshadow more. I think there's something there. The lists aren't quite there yet with what I was seeing. Okay. But I like Blood Shadow. I like Moonshadow a lot. This hand, we'll keep it. I don't love it. Play Agadeem's tapped. 2 Village Rites is pretty clunky. Get this Blood Tithe Harvester down. I keep running into Burn Prowess and Waste. Man, I wish that I could run into those decks. I have been running into just mono Selesnya decks lately. I have seen so many collected companies recently. All right. Moonshadow here is nice. We can do this at any time. Let's just pass. Leave up Village Rites if they have a removal spell. All right, they have a removal spell, so we do get some value out of this Moonshadow here. Sack the Moonshadow. Get it in the graveyard. All right, are we... Are we discarding Village Rites? No, let's leave up another Village Rites. With the way they're playing, it looks like they just have a ton of removal. Let's go Dreadhorde Arcanist. Claim the Moonshadow. And yeah, let's just leave up another Village Rites. Looking to dodge a collected company this turn. I think there's something there with Hollow One and that red creature. Yeah, I think there's something there with Hollow One, but there's no good red discard spells. And that's where I keep getting stuck on the lists. And like this deck would love something like a Faithless Looting. But all right, looks like our opponent has the collected company. Let's cycle this land here. If we get got by a collected company right now, then that's fine. Okay, we draw a Fatal Push. All right, they don't go for the collected company. We don't have a way to trigger Revolt. Yeah, this is a little brutal here. Are we Village Rightsing? I don't love casting Village Rites on Moonshadow. Yeah, kind of a tough turn here. Do we Village Rites the Dreadhorde Arcanist? I hate that too. Feed the Swarm. Yeah, wow. Really rough turn. I guess we just play Verge. Attack for 2 and pass. All right, get in for 2. Let's just pass. All right, opponent has collected company. Not sure why they didn't cast that in combat. They find a Righteous Valkyrie. That is beatable. That's what we were hoping for. Yeah, Cathartic Reunion is around, plus Demand Answers. Highway Robbery is also there. I don't like that Cathartic Reunion just gets completely wrecked by counter spells. All right, let's Fatal Push Bishop of Wings, stop them from gaining 4. and it's hard for us to outgrind these spirits. So they're going to gain 2 here. We get to have a pretty good turn this turn. Still not going to Village Rites anything. We draw an Agadeem's Awakening. All right, super awkward here. Let's go Feed the Swarm on Righteous Valkyrie, attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist, Fatal Push Giada. All right. Feed the Swarm Righteous Valkyrie, we lose 3. Attack with Arcanist, Fatal Push Giada. Get in for 3. All right, opponent, or sorry, get in for 2. It's also the land from Zendikar with the discard. Yeah, 3 CMC. All right, let's save this Agadeem's Awakening. Yeah, there are options, but none of them are like anywhere near the power level that I think Pioneer is at. Unfortunately, like trust me, I am an Arclight Phoenix lover, and okay, so now we get to cash in this Village Rites finally, and we get to trigger our Moonshadow with it, so pretty good for us here. Trust me, I would love to see a better like red discard spell. All right, cast this Thoughtseize. All right, definitely taking the Enduring Innocence. Not sure why they haven't been just slamming that to draw cards, but we'll take it. Let's cast this Stitcher Supplier. See if we find a Kroxa, we will play this. Nice. Okay, we find a Kroxa, and we trigger our Moonshadow here. So let's go Agadeem's Awakening, untapped. Cast Kroxa, exiling lands first. We can get rid of 1 Village Rites. Feed the Swarm's pretty hard to flash back. And 1 Thoughtseize. All right, make them discard 1 of these 2 Angels. And now get in for 4. All right, maybe a little bit aggressive there. So we get to trade. We're in a pretty good spot. We're looking to just dodge collected companies here. All right, an opponent concedes. Let's go. All right, this is a great hand if our opponent is on a creature deck. We need to have Moonshadow into Blood Tithe Harvester. And hopefully these can smooth out some of our draws. Splash in the water there. All right. Turn 1 Moonshadow, go. See what our opponent's on here. Opponent is on Sunken Citadel on green. Is this a mono green devotion deck? I love Sunken Citadel plus Nykthos. All right, let's go Verge, play Blood Tithe Harvester, get in for 1. Really glad we have these blood tokens to trigger Revolt here. All right, they go Forest. They go Shared Roots. All right, they're ramping. Is this a mono green? We'll see if they get. They get it. Looks like some sort of mono green devotion deck. Really glad we drew this Thoughtseize here. All right, Oath of Nissa's Archdruid's Charm. Let's take this Archdruid's Charm. Get another Blood Tithe Harvester down. Get in for 4. This is one thing that is really nice about the Harvesters against these matchups where we need to win faster. we can present a really fast clock with these. What is this? Oh my gosh. Can we beat this card? What? All right, this is some crazy synergy. Enters if it isn't a token, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. What a crazy top deck for our opponent here. Yeah. So we can go Blackcleave Cliffs. When this dies, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to its power on each creature you control named Gruff Triplets. So we go... This is only as a sorcery, so we go -3/-3 on the real one. Oh, and this has CMC 6. All right, so we can only kill 1. Wait, why didn't that... All right, bring back Blood Tithe Harvester. And I guess... Oh, because... Okay, let's go. Thank you, Blood Tithe Harvester. So, do we just kill this other... Okay, so kill this one. I messed this up. We're in our post-combat. Okay. Huge... Sorry about that mistake this turn. Blood Tithe Harvester plays super well into this card. We could have gotten in for 3 there with our Moon Shadow. All right, opponent casts a Shared Roots. We need to hope to dodge something off of this Oath of Nissa. All right, opponent passes. We draw Thoughtseize. Let's cast the Thoughtseize. Did they draw Collected Company? What are they thinking about here? What are they thinking about here? Oh, okay. Archdruid's Charm. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It deals damage. So this will kill Blood Tithe Harvester and make this a 5/5, or make this a 4/4. All right, this triggers our Moon Shadow, though. All right, that's fine. Make Moon Shadow a 4/4. Take this Oath of Nissa, and now let's discard this Fatal Push. Just a swamp. This grows the Moon Shadow. We are winning the race here. All right, we find a Stitcher Supplier. Cast a Stitcher Supplier, see if we trigger Moon Shadow again. We trigger Moon Shadow again. Get in for 6. All right, we need to dodge draws from our opponents here. They're thinking, don't love that. Yeah, went more of a treasure token. All right, we'll chump here. Oh, this has trample. Yeah, the tokens off like Deadly Dispute do make the splash a little bit easier. All right, Moon Shadow is a 7/7. Oh yeah, the black 1-drop pirate. All right, we're gonna go for lethal here. If they have a way to stop this, then sure. Get in for 7. Let's go. Wow, I thought we were dead to this. We're super lucky that Blood Tithe Harvester just randomly lines up super well against that Gruff card. All right, sideboarding against Mono Green Devotion. We didn't see any elves, and they were on a bunch of ramp spells, so Let's not bring in fire magic. It doesn't look like they're on any Llanowar elves. Shrapnel blast. Okay. We're onto something there. Experimental synthesizer. I don't think we want Obnixilis. Let's bring in a Braid. Go Blink can actually be really good against them too. What are we cutting? So Fatal Push is definitely out. Claim the Firstborn's out. Heartless Act can stay in. That appears to kill all of their creatures. I don't love Feed the Swarm because their stuff is super high CMC, but it's better than Claim the Firstborn. All right, let's run it like that. See how these sideboard games go. We want to see Thoughtseize into Dreadhorde Arcanist against this deck. Opponent is on the play for game number 2 here. All right. Okay, perfect. Thoughtseize into Dreadhorde Arcanist is exactly where we want to be in this matchup. All right, opponent has Sunken Citadel on green. This is a ramp spell. This is a ramp spell. We're going to take the Titan of Industry. Borderline unbeatable card right here. So this match, we are basically going to get to a point where our opponent is going to just have to, they're going to be able to ramp, and they're just going to have to top deck answers, or not answers, but threats. We'll see if they have one this turn. They have Garenbrig activated. Okay, so just a Wolf Willow Haven. They have another Sunken Citadel, so this Castle Garenbrig can go pretty crazy. I think Sunken Citadel is, like, low-key pretty broken. I like this card a lot. All right, this turn, let's go land, Moonshadow, Bloodtithe Harvester, Flashback Thoughtseize. Just put the most pressure possible on our opponent. We don't need to be too concerned about the value plan. All right, opponent is out of spells. They can make a 2/2 Wolf. Let's see if they drew. Oh my gosh. And they top deck the Gruff Triplets again. That's pretty brutal. Let's go Verge. Play Stitcher Supplier, see what we mill. We mill another Thoughtseize. We mill a Go Blank. None of these do anything. So let's Village Rites, sacrifice the Stitcher Supplier, trigger Moonshadow. All right, nice. We find a Croxa, so we get double trigger on Moonshadow. We find a Heartless Act. All right, what are we doing here? We don't have anything we want to sacrifice to this Village Rites at the moment. So we can attack with Moonshadow, kill one, respond to the other with a kill spell, but then they have a 9/9. Yeah, I don't really like that. We don't have anything. No attacks here. Leave up this blood token. I think it's great and everyone else should run them. I'm on burn and I think they're perfectly balanced hand everything. Okay, they make a wolf. That's fine. Do they get in for 9 here? They do not. Let's cycle this land away. Trigger our Moon Shadow. All right, find another Blood Tithe Harvester. Are we sacrificing this one? No. All right, we find a land. Let's go land Croxa. Leave up. Leave up this Village Rites. Leaving up Village Rites gives us... Oh, this has Trample, so we actually can't block and then sacrifice. All right, no attacks. We're going to wait until next turn to start attacking. And everyone else should use them. I'm on burn, and I think they're... Should always be played untapped too. Are we talking about Sunken Citadel? Okay, up the Beanstalk is danger. Do they find something to go with? Wow. How did they... So this is 7 mana. They just tapped 3 lands and cast a 7-drop. All right, I think we're going to be settling this in game 3. Yeah, I hate Up the Beanstalk too. Their deck is cool. The fact that they've top decked this card both games has been a little cringe. All right, let's go. I think we're pretty dead. We can attack with Croxa, do 3. Oh, there's just no way that we ever win this. This has a shield counter. Like, the deck needs it, but yeah. Up the Beanstalk is gross. All right, we attack with Croxa. Man, there's just no way we win this. Titan of Industry just kills it. It's got a shield counter. So Titan of Industry blocks it. We sacrifice it to Village Rites. And then we play it again. We make Moonshadow bigger again. Wait. Oh, we don't have enough to... Can we flash back anything? We flash back Go Blank, empty their hand. Let's play Blood Tithe Harvester. Play this Agadeem's Awakening. Now we can potentially cast this. We can make Moonshadow 1 bigger in combat. Oh no, another Beanstalk. Well, that's how these matchups go. Oh my god. Okay, good game. We Thoughtseize them a bunch of times, and they had all runners off the top. I don't think we're changing anything. Well, they have Up the Beanstalks. We'll bring in another Feed the Swarm. And let's cut Go Blank. We can go to Village Rites. Honestly, Croxa's a little slow, but... All right, let's run it like that. All right, we're on the play. If we could have the same hand as we had last game, but being on the play, I think we should be able to win. Okay, nice. This is a great hand. Thoughtseize on the play into turn 2, Dreadhorde Arcanist. For back to Nate, yeah, We love blowing up beanstalks. Oh my. All right, opponent. Yeah, we will take up the beanstalk. That is a super greedy keep from them. I cannot believe they kept that. What a deck from our opponent. What? That's crazy. Okay. Cast a Thoughtseize. All right, take the Archdruid's Charm. Cast a Moonshadow. Cast a Stitcher's Supplier. All right, let's get a Thoughtseize count this game. That was 2. Here's Thoughtseize number 3. And I'm usually the Thoughtseize hater, so... All right, sure. Take this Cavalier. Just go up the curve. Take the Gruff Triplets next turn. All right. We have a target for our Feed the Swarm now. We haven't drawn... We really want one of our sacrifice effects. Let's just go land... Feed the Swarm their ramp, and get in for 4. Cast another Thoughtseize. Take the Gruff Triplets. And our opponent is 4 lands away from Titan of Industry. Our opponent is 3 lands away from Titan of Industry. Cast this Kroxa, grow the Moonshadow. We support... No, we don't support this Ulamog. I've lost who knows how many games to Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. Our opponent's at 10. If they go land. Boo. Do they find a land? No land. Sunken Citadel. All right, they find a ramp spell. So they are... Top decked land. Let's go. Thank goodness. The good guys win. Or at least, we haven't won yet, but... All right, they need to top deck. Gruff Triplets would be insane for them here. All right, just a ramp spell. And we get there. All right. The good guys win. The mid-range deck is victorious over the evil Tron deck. All right, this is a keep. Opponent is on a mulligan, so love keeping a turn 1 Thoughtseize. All right, opponent is on a mulligan to 5 against our Thoughtseize. I see nothing wrong with Ulamog. It is a lot more reasonable in Pioneer than it is in Modern. What is going on here? Inspiring Vantage Ornithopter? Gleeful Oh no. Well, I think we're fine because our opponent was on a mulligan to 5, but I was scared there for a second. All right, let's just get our double Stitcher Supplier down to be able to block these 1/1s. And, you know, a little bit ironically, we are now on a mulligan to 5 with all of these Thoughtseizes. All right, we will trade with our opponent going down to 5 here. All right, we find a Kroxa. Opponent plays a land, plays a Novice Inspector. We're at 14. All right, we find a Blood Crypt. Let's go Blood Crypt, tapped and pass. These Thoughtseizes are just completely dead. Potentially a misplay here to have traded with both Stitcher's suppliers. Probably should have left one of them up to sacrifice to this deadly dispute. Slight misplay there. All right, another Ornithopter. We find a Blood Tithe Harvester. This is a great blocker here. And I mentioned this in the deck tech, having these bloods to loot away bad cards has been super... Hello? Hello? We were supposed to be looting away those bad cards. All right, Pride of the Conquerors is a good draw. Our opponent is putting up a fight for the mulligan to 5, but at this point, Croxa is just going to take this match over. Oh, not claim to fame. Yeah, just like real life, you... Thoughtseize Bug is alive in Arena too. All right, opponent draws a Thraben Inspector. And yeah, we just attack with Croxa here. No reason to overthink this. There's no way we die on the backswing with double removal spell up. You know, Thoughtseize is a really good card in Pioneer. When your opponent mulligans to 5 and then plays their entire hand on turn 2, Thoughtseize looks a lot worse. All right, they can draw off their Thraben Inspector. We have 2 removal spells in hand. There's no way we can lose from here against our opponent's deck. What is this? What is... Okay, artifact creature at 12 plus. All right, Fire Magic's in. Really happy that we have Fire Magics in this matchup. Raven Feeblement's in. A Braid? I don't know if we need a Braid. Let's see what our cuts are first. I like Stitcher Supplier here. It's good at chumping. Heartless Act is a little bit slow. We can cut the Heartless Axe. Moonshadow's a great blocker. Fatal Push kills everything. Deadly Disputes. This is a good blocker. Yeah, our deck is very good against theirs. We can go down the claim of Firstborn plus a Village Rites. Yeah, this is fine. Actually, honestly, maybe Croxa. He's very slow. Leave in the claims. Anything else we want to bring in? All right, this looks good. Yeah, because the station is an artifact. I'm just... Are we worried about them tapping like 12 power to a random station though? All right, opponent's on a mulligan to 6. Opponent concedes. Okay. This hand is interesting, but 2 pieces of interaction. All right, our opponents are mulliganing a lot. I'll always remember the legend Reed Duke and his quote when somebody said, you know, when somebody is thinking about a mulligan to 6, you know, are you hoping that they go to 5? Or what are you hoping for? And he just goes, I'm hoping for a good game of Magic. What a guy. Okay. Against, oh man, Selesnya Hardened Scales. This counter enters. So these are very similar. We have the Fatal Push for Pelt Collector. Or we just let them keep Pelt Collector and kill both of these. No, let's... Pelt Collector can get out of hand really quick. Potentially taking the Snakeskin Veil was the play. We just have to end up killing all their stuff anyway. I hate that. I hate that a lot. If they play this Conclave Mentor here, I think we are going to kill it. Yeah, I mean, okay, enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. Sacrifice it. Target creature gains indestructible until the end of turn. Okay. So now we can... Sure, I mean, we'll give them the choice. Yeah, I think that's a super great mentality. I think let's go with Snakeskin Veil. I don't like winning due to mulligans. I like the gameplay of Magic, as we all do. Have no desire to like sit and watch people mulligan to fight. Now, if they're playing a deck that like naturally is, wow, great top deck from them with this Conclave Mentor, naturally mulligans a lot, you know, that is a part of like playing those decks. But you know, if someone's just unlucky, then that's a little bit different. We get to do a really cool thing here where we give the Arcanist haste. We'll attack in, Fatal Push the Conclave Mentor. They'll sacrifice this to give it indestructible. So we have to beat a Conclave Mentor plus a Pelt Collector, hoping that they whiff for a turn. Only want to have a good game. It always sucks when one side can't play, can't get any testing or practice that way. Oh. All right, that was brutal. One on moles to... Okay, we're dead. I don't think we have any draws here. Really cool deck from our opponent. I like what I'm seeing a lot. Pioneer is so good right now. Are we bringing in a Braids? Potentially? I don't know. We have a lot. So what are we cutting first? Actually, Claim the Firstborn package is good here. Oh, Heartless Act is horrible. Notably, this is... yeah, not great against the +1/+1 counter deck. Dreadhorde Arcanist, a little slow, but just so many good things to flashback here. We can go down one Kroxa. This is a matchup where we want to be interacting a lot early. So since we're going down a Kroxa, let's go down one Deadly Dispute. It's the slowest of our sacrifice spells. Man, Pioneer is so awesome right now. We are seeing so many cool decks. Yeah, more Voice of Resurgence. I've been seeing a lot of Voice of Resurgence too. All right, no interaction right now, but we have a super fast draw of Moonshadow into Kroxa to go after their hand. And then we have a Stitcher Supplier to fill the graveyard up to get this Kroxa back, hopefully by turn 4. And we're going after their hand a little bit with the Kroxa. Yeah, Korriban opened the floodgate. I'll admit, I was worried when the Korriban first happened. I thought that we were going to just see only Greasefang. I don't know if Greasefang is the best deck and people just don't want to play Greasefang, or if the meta truly is this open. But whatever it is, I'm here for it because I've been having so much fun. Okay, whenever this creature attacks while saddled, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, sacrifice this creature. Creatures you control with counters gain hexproof and indestructible. All right. Very, very cool card. I mean, we never would have seen Bulwark Ox before in Pioneer. So, okay, we can. Oh, wait, this is so mean. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, opponent. So we can play Stitcher's Supplier. Oh, this. Oh, but they can just respond by sacking it. So this is just 1 mana kill Bulwark Ox. All right, I mean, 1 red kill Bulwark Ox seems fine in this matchup. All right, cast a Thoughtseize. You and permanents you control gain hexproof. Wow. Haven't seen this card in a while, but that's really good here. Innkeeper's Talent, Conclave Mentor. So we don't care about these. We don't really care about this either. Let's just take this Surge of Salvation because it slows us down the most. And we're just on an aggro draw here. So get in for 3. And next turn, we're just slamming Kroxa. Seeing Greasefang lose a lot more lately. Yeah, Greasefang is a lot worse when, like, people are trying to beat it. All right, any reason to Fatal Push this instead of Slam Kroxa? I don't think so. Let's just Slam Kroxa here, go after their hand some more, and opponent concedes. I love their list. Hardened Scales is really cool. I played it for a little bit in Modern and had a ton of fun with it. So I love everything that I'm seeing coming out from our opponent. Let's go down the last Deadly Dispute and 1 Stitcher Supplier. I like the Claim the Firstborns here. It looks like they're playing 8 copies of cards that Claim the Firstborn is just 1 red mana, force them to sacrifice their own creature. All right, this hand is painful, but we have Claim the Firstborn plus Blackcleave Cliffs. Or, sorry, Claim the Firstborn plus Blackcleave Cliffs. Claim the Firstborn plus Village Rights. We'll keep this. Would have loved to see a Fire Magic in any of these games. All right, play this Agadeem's tapped. See what our opponent has on turn 2 here. Conclave Mentor. Any of their 2-drops that double counters, being able to kill one of those is nice. Our opponent is on a painful start here with double Brushland. Potentially a 2-lander from our opponent. Wow. No play from them. Play this Blackcleave Cliffs, and let's get down a Blood Tithe Harvester. This is a good blocker here. This lets us leave up the ability to cast Kroxa and sacrifice it to Village Rights if they just don't play anything again. All right, they play Agonjo. They have a Scavenging Ooze. Wow. We are definitely going to claim the Firstborn that and sacrifice it. So claim the Firstborn here, get in for 5. Very bad here if they have a protection spell. They do have a protection spell. Okay. That's a disaster. Okay. What are we doing here? Can't feed the swarm. This doesn't kill the ooze now. All right, no attacks. Very good snakeskin veil from our opponent here. Right, the third brushland. Agonjo. Seat of the Empire. All right, let's see what their follow-up is here. Luminarch Aspirant would be very bad. Notably, there's no creatures in the graveyard for them to put any counters on this. They have the Luminarch Aspirant. Okay. They go on to the ooze. We're going to take 4. We take 4. Are we okay, are we discarding 1 Kroxa? No, sorry, we can't do that because we need the blood to be able to kill the Luminarch Aspirant. Okay, we go to our turn. Do they have a second protection spell? They have a second protection spell. Okay. Oh my gosh, and then it's a protection spell that gets around sorcery speed removal. What a disaster. Okay, we are in super bad shape now. So we go Swamp. So now we're just playing Kroxa. Yeah, let's play Kroxa. Make them discard. Village Rites the Kroxa. We need a Fatal Push here. Oh. Okay, all right. This makes red mana. Okay, let's go. Stopping their upkeep. Oh, thank goodness. Fire Magic coming in clutch. Fire Magic away their board. Let's go. What a top deck. We just have to beat the Scavenging Ooze now. We have the Feed the Swarm for it. Crazy top deck. All right, need to dodge something this turn from them. This, all right, that's fine. They'll gain a ton of life. They equip the Scavenging Ooze, and notably they have 1 green up so they can exile this Kroxa in response to our Feed the Swarm next turn. Yeah, so we are... Notably, this is mana cost and not power, thank goodness. So we're only losing 2 here. They're going to exile our Kroxa in response. Yep. They exile our Kroxa. Let's discard this Swamp to Blood, see if we find anything. All right, Village Rites. Let's get Kroxa in the graveyard. It would be nice to save it for 1 more turn for some value, but getting a threat into the graveyard so we can just slam this Kroxa next turn and put a ton of pressure on them, I think is a little bit more valuable. All right, they can make this a 3/3. This was a good top deck. All right, we draw another Feed the Swarm. We can play both of these. We take 5 and go down to 4 to do it. I think that's worth it. If we don't, no, there's nothing they can draw. So let's just cast Kroxa. Leave Blood Tithe Harvester in the graveyard. All right. Cast Kroxa. Pass. I don't think there's anything they can draw here. They haven't drawn a land in a bunch of turns either. This is not the turn that they're going to draw a land. Opponent has hit a ton of runners this game, but all right, they move over to the Conclave Mentor. No attacks. I think this Kroxa is just going to take the game over, though. We feed the Swarm. These basically do the same thing. Whenever one or more counters are put on another permanent you control, if it's the first time, they get another one. And this just is when it dies. Gain 3. So and both of them are 2 drops. Let's kill the one with the Shadow Spear on it. Opponent does gain 3, but again, with this Kroxa out, yeah, we are going to attack, put them dead next turn. We don't have any 1-drops. Yeah, we don't have 1, 2. We don't have enough to bring back the Blood Tithe Harvester for a blocker. Wow, they draw another Conclave Mentor. We are not out of this yet. Let's see if they... So they equip here. They put us to 4. And they go back up to 9. Super close game. And they get to sacrifice... Or they can just chump block here with the Conclave Mentor. Attack with Kroxa. They have to chump. We Agadeem's Awakening for 2. Bring back Blood Tithe Harvester. Make a blood. Play Blood Crypt tapped. No, let's save this Blood Crypt to loot away. All right, we have a blocker. Come on, draw land 1 turn, opponent. This makes it a 5/5. We go to 1. What does this level up do? It gives it ward 1. All right, so I believe we go to 1 here. This goes to 5. Oh, it goes to 4. Oh, this is another permanent. But opponent is just dead on board. Right? Oh, no, sorry. They go to 11. And we go to 2. Wow. Wow, our opponent is fighting. Any of these last 4 or 5 turns, if they draw a land, we win the game. Let's loot away Blood Crypt. Let's see what we draw here. Mountain is not it. No way. So we attack with Crook, so we put our opponent to 2. We cast Village Rites. Village Rites goes to the graveyard, and we have 5 cards in the graveyard. Okay, we found the line. Get in for 9. Sacrifice Kroxa, recast Kroxa. Let's go. We get there. Village Rites goes to the graveyard. Recast Kroxa. Oh boy. We get there. Let's go. What a match. All right, we have the Village Rites claim the Firstborn combo. We don't see a companion from them, so less likely their control. We also can sacrifice our Kroxa to this Village Rites if we need to. All right, just a Blackleaf Cliffs pass. No turn one play from us. We can Fatal Push anything if they play a creature. They have a Multiversal Passage, and our opponent starts with a Thoughtseize. Pretty hard to know what to take here for our opponent. It all is just good. All right, they take the Fatal Push. All right, we top deck a Moonshadow. We'll play this. They know about the Village Rites. Our opponent is on Dimir. We will gladly take a 2-for-1 if they cast a removal spell on this Moonshadow. Looks like they're just reading the Moonshadow. See what they do here. I'm not sure what Multiversal Passage into Gloomlake Verge means. All right, opponent is just passing. I'd like to draw a land here. Nice. All right, we draw Blood Crypt. Let's play this Kroxa, see what they discard. Let them discard something here. Get a little bit better of an idea what they're on. All right, so some sort of blue mid-range pile. So Kroxa is going to be great in this matchup. Grow our Moonshadow. All right, nice. We find a Stitcher Supplier to fuel this Kroxa. Oh, okay. Bitterbloom Bearer, very cool. So Dimir Fairies, Badfish, is this you? Not me. Are you playing the Bitterbloom Bearer in your list? Oh, our opponent's already at 10. Whoa. Okay. Because, oh, they discarded Mutavault to the Kroxa. Okay, let's... All right, we're playing the Sokens on this turn. Let's just go claim the first, or claim Kroxa. Get another Moonshadow trigger. Play Stitcher Supplier, potentially get another Moonshadow trigger. Alternatively, we could Blood Tithe Harvester. Or they discard a Mockingbird. All right, super cool list from our opponent. Let's play this Blood Tithe Harvester. And Stitcher Supplier. We hit another permanent, so Moonshadow is now 4/4. Let's see if they have a Fatal Push. Very likely Fatal Push here. Yep, looks like they have it. All right. Oh, Drown in the Loch. Okay. We're fine with that. That's a Drown in the Loch that's not going at our Kroxa. Oh, they're rogues. These are all... Oh, just this is a rogue. Okay. Okay, and our opponent is milling us. We love that. All right, we don't find a land to haste out this Croxa this turn. But our opponent is like going to die to their bitter bloom bearer. Here we just attack for 4, put them to 5. They likely trade here with the Stitcher Supplier. All right, they chump block. All right, this is fine. And let's just play Croxa. If they have another counter spell, it's going to get a little bit close. But they need... Right, we can just exile a second Fatal Push. They need exact... All right, they don't have another counter spell. Just another land. All right, they're in trouble. They need a good top deck here. Let's see what they find. Yeah, it looks like they're closer to rogues, not fairies. All right, we will attack. All right, opponent is dead. They flash. Oh, no, they're not dead. Are we dead? Whoa, did we misplay here? This says Death Touch. Well, they can't kill Croxa. So they chump block Croxa, block the Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay, I got a little bit... I thought we just won. Are we dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're not just dead. We're not dead to another lord, but let's just see if we can find a way to kill them this turn. Does this kill them? We can flashback. Claim the Firstborn, but we don't have another Croxa. We can flashback Moonshadow. We can flashback Deadly Dispute. This doesn't kill them. So now we just... Oh, but this can flashback a Fatal Push. So we don't die. And they're dead to this Croxa. All right. 1/1 counter on it. So we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And we will... Whenever... Oh, any creature deals combat damage. So they... draw... So they can draw 3 here. So they would have to hit... So we mill 2. All right, we find another Croxa on the top. Let's go flashback for Fatal Push. Fatal Push, Soaring Thought Thief. Take 3. They get to draw 2. But they're just dead to the Bitterbloom Bear. Wow, okay. For some reason, when I read this card, I thought that it only affected one creature. I didn't realize that this is all creatures that you control. That is way better than I thought it was. All right, against Dimir fairies, rogues, both. Fire Magic's in... Yeah, that's why. Yeah, like, I thought it was all right if it was just one creature, but it being everything is kind of crazy. All right, Fire Magic's in, Abrades in Go blanks, not needed, I think. Moonshadow seems really good at pressuring them. Stitchers is a little bit worse. We can cut this package probably. They have enough disruption that trying to claim the firstborn something and sacrifice it is a little bit clunky. One go blank. All right, let's see. I think we're slightly favored in this matchup just because of how much damage they're doing to themselves, but we could easily die to a good draw from them. All right, double Thoughtseize should be pretty good here. Does claim the firstborn give haste? Yes, it does. That's one. I like it. It can give Croxa haste. Let's go aggro. Play a Moonshadow this turn. Next turn we can second Moonshadow plus Thoughtseize. In that game earlier, we saw how out of hand multiple Moonshadows can be. And they cannot block Moonshadow very well. Let's go second Moonshadow. And then cast a Thoughtseize. See what our opponent's got going on. All right, they've got the Bitterbloom Bearer. All right, Hearse, Unholy. Wow. How do they have all these cards in their deck? All right, we're on double Moonshadow, so we don't care about Hearse. None of these are demons. So that's pretty slow. Let's take the removal spell. Get in for one. See what they play here. They also don't have any lands. Our opponent with the wombo of Drown in the Loch plus Unlicensed Hearse. I'm not sure I agree with that plan, but let's go. What a top deck. Okay. I think we win this. Let's go Swamp. And let's just win the game. Cast Thoughtseize. Fire Magic has looked absolutely insane today. Take a Fatal Push. That's wild that they cast the Unlicensed Hearse over a Fatal Push this turn. All right, play Stitcher Supplier. Notably, we do need to hit a permanent here to not kill our Moonshadows, and we do. All right, now... Oh, and do we just super high roll and hit another permanent by killing the Stitcher Supplier? Hearse away, opponent. Yep, you got it. All right, wipe their board. Trigger our Moonshadows twice. Make our Moonshadows 4/4s. Wow. Put our opponent to 8 on turn 3. Let's go. This deck is sweet. Not sure what they could draw here. They're just dead next turn. Opponent concedes. Let's go. That was sick. Is this deck actually good? Our Golgari matchup. This hand... No companion. We have 3 1-drops. We are on the draw 2 of our 1-drops are Thoughtseize. I'm going to click the keep button. Nice. Let's cast a Fatal Push on Gran Gran. Against Lessons, we can save these Thoughtseizes for a little bit. All right, Stormchaser's Talent. Do they have a Boomerang to go with this? They have a Boomerang to go with this. All right, let's use our mana efficiently this turn and just get a Blood Tithe Harvester down. A little bit awkward to just like still have these Thoughtseizes in our hand this late, but let them sculpt their hand a little bit and then we can fire these off. Are we set? All right, they have a Torch the Tower. So we're taking 4 this turn to this Otter. Are we sacrificing? All right, we don't hit a land. So I think we do have to sacrifice this blood to Deadly Dispute. All right, nice. We find a land. This is definitely being played on black. We need to answer these Otters. We'll take a lot of damage next turn if we don't. So let's... Is it Heartless Act or Blood Tithe Harvester? Alternatively, we could just double Thoughtseize. Let's double Thoughtseize. It's risky. Okay, nice. So we take VV plus Accumulate Wisdom. We go to 10. They have no spells this turn. Do they find a land? All right, they don't find anything. Okay, play Mountain. Let's go Blood Tithe Harvester, Heartless Act this turn. If they want to trade Combustion Technique for Blood Tithe Harvester, we're fine with that. Yep, so they Combustion Technique. That is okay. Blood Tithe Harvester down. All right, we will Heartless Act and Otter. Okay, they find a Consider, so we're taking 3, going to 5. We need to answer this other Otter. Okay, we find a Stitcher Supplier. That can chump block for a turn. We don't have enough black mana to play our hand. So let's cast Kroxa. Cast Stitcher's Supplier. Discard Thoughtseize. All right. We get rid of an It'll Quench Ya. Cast this Stitcher's Supplier. And yeah, let's discard Thoughtseize here. Draw a card. Claim the Firstborn is nice. So if we top deck a land, we can play Kroxa plus haste Kroxa. They don't attack. Okay, we don't find a land. We're just going to cast Kroxa. Goodbye, Thoughtseizes. Thank you for your service. You tore our Is It opponent's hand apart. Is this an It'll Quench Ya? Divide by 0. That's bad. No attacks. All right, so they get to draw 3 here. Need to dodge a removal spell on Stitcher's Supplier. They find the removal spell for Stitcher's Supplier. Okay. We go to 2. All right. I mean, if this deck is running direct damage, then I think we're dead anyway. So let's go claim the Firstborn. Well, do we have to claim the Firstborn? I think we do. Yeah, we're just so pinched on black. So yeah, claim the Firstborn on Otter. Get in for 1. Village Rights Otter. And play Kroxa to go after their hand a little bit. All right. Do they have a second Vivi? We've already discarded 1. These lists are usually only running 2. They have the Igneous Inspiration. Yeah, that divide by 0 was brutal. I don't think there was a way we could have played around it. All right, Fire Magic's in. Go Blanks in. Feed the Swarms in. Clunky Spells out. So Claims out. Heartless Act is pretty slow, and we have the Fire Magic, so those out. Deadly Disputes out. I'm thinking back to our choice to turn 1 Fatal Push the Gran. Potentially it was just better to Thoughtseize that turn. We could have taken the Storm Chasers then. All right, this hand notably cannot cast any of our red spells, but we have a Fatal Push, and we just have a lot of lands that make this hand just super strong. So, all right, Soul Guide Lantern is slightly annoying, but all right, and nice. We find red mana. This is completely beatable. Play Mountain and does look a little bit worse. Makes our Dreadhorde Arcanist look worse. Cast this Kroxa. And then we can force them to pop it next turn by claiming the Kroxa. So what they discard here. All right. They discard a Combustion Technique. I like that we're very insulated against their Otter game plan with this Fire Magic. Oh, all right. That's a cute little play. I like it. All right, we draw Feed the Swarm. That kills enchantments, not artifacts. Play a sad Dreadhorde Arcanist. We will bring in the not Angrath, Obnixiluses for game 3 if we get a chance to. Okay. All right, no follow-up. What could our opponent's hand be? All right, nice. We find a Moonshadow. This can win through Soul Guide Lantern. Super good find here. And our opponent is doing nothing. We don't have a way to grow this at all. Oh, that's good. Opponent is probably going to have something now. All right, they have a Vivi. We do get to answer that on our turn. All right, they cast the Soul Guide Lantern. Oh, we have a Vivi too. Oh, a little bit awkward there. All right, they cast a Storm Chaser's talent. They make an Otter. We're not fire magicking this turn. We're not fatal. Are we fatal pushing Otter? No. Let's just go to our turn. Okay, nice. We find a Stitcher supplier. Hopefully we force them to pop the Soul Guide Lantern this turn and unlock this Dreadhorde Arcanist. All right, we make Moonshadow big. This should force them to pop the Soul Guide Lantern. Oh, this was maybe wrong. Yeah, because now oh yeah, this was not. Sorry guys, I forgot that we don't get to fatal push now. All right, we discard feed the swarm and we have to hit a untapped black land. Yeah, I want to keep this fire magic. So discard feed the swarm. Come on, let's hit untap black land. No untap black land. Oh, we could have discarded the fatal push. That would have forced. All right. Oh my gosh, we made a lot of mistakes this game. All right. We're probably going to lose to VV Ornithir this turn. They play an untap land. Oh boy, they have a Grand too. Usually we're the ones doing this, but we're about to get cooked by Grand plus VV this turn. Opponent just passes? We actually get... That's crazy. Okay, so we play Blood Crypt untapped. Notably, we don't have a blood anymore for this Harvester. So let's play second Blood Tithe Harvester. Make a blood. Go after Grand. Trigger Moonshadow. Cast Fatal Push targeting Vivi. This is very likely getting counterspelled. They divide by 0, so they have... Oh, they're divide by 0ing Vivi. Okay. What are they learning for? They learn for an Accumulate Wisdom. Now we go to combat. And now they will cash in their Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. They cash in their Soul Guide Lantern. They go to blocks. They block Otter. They go to 11. And we pass. They can replay Vivi. See what their follow-up is here. Just one Accumulate Wisdom. Again, not great for us, but it's beatable. They have one land left. All right, second Storm Chasers. This is beatable too. We have the fire magic to... Oh boy, that's... All right, we're getting into less beatable territory. I think we win this game by going aggressive, so we are just going to take 4 here. No blocks. Go to 8. We need to draw a removal spell for this VV. We have a lot of them. Okay, we draw Thoughtseize. Okay, so this turn, we fire magic, we kill our Stitcher Supplier, and if we hit a Fatal Push off of the mills, then we can kill Vivi and probably win. Let's see what we hit. We get to trigger Moonshadow twice here. No Fatal Push on the mill. Did we hit anything? We didn't hit anything. This does 2 damage. We are attacking for just 5. Does one Thoughtseize... I don't think a Thoughtseize does anything for us, and we can just flash it back off the Arcanist, so let's try and find a Fatal Push. We find a Claim... We can claim back Blood Tithe Harvester. No, claim back Stitcher Supplier. Hit Fatal Push. We hit a Feed the Swarm. We can't flash that back, though. So we... This is a tough turn. Flashback Thoughtseize, flashback Fire Magic. I think we're pretty dead here. Put them to 5. I think casting Thoughtseize is valuable here. Do we need 2 blockers? We can leave 2 blockers back here because Moonshadow kills them next turn anyway. All right, Thoughtseize. We can't flashback Claim because it's a 3-drop in the graveyard. Okay. This doesn't kill us. This doesn't kill us. This doesn't kill us. This doesn't kill us. This is their best card, I think. Oh, wait. No, I think we're dead. Double removal spell. Yeah, we're dead. Dang it. All right. Good game. Yeah, they just go removal spell, removal spell. Brutal. We had... Yep, they see the line. And all right, double Thoughtseize on the play. Hard to say no to that. Wow. Okay. Double Thoughtseize looking much worse against this hand. Wow, our hand is horrible against this deck. All right, well, we will let them have one more turn. Okay, them actually playing this Grazer is really good for us. Because we can actually steal the Grazer now to trait cash in this Village Rights. That's so fun. All right, thank goodness for Grazer. We don't find another land. All right, we need to dodge a untap. Oh my goodness. Well, we might be cooked now. We can start to close pretty quick here. Let's go flashback for Thoughtseize. No, let's cast this. Let's go Thoughtseize Stitchers. And they hit us with the nice deck. Are we dead? Oh my gosh. Are we dead to... All right, they Field of Ruin us. We are on a ton of basics. We don't care about that. Let's go... Let's get our mountain. All right, nice. We find a Blood Crypt. Let's sacrifice Stitcher's Supplier, Fatal Push, or do we... Now let's Kroxa, Fatal Push, Minstrel. And then next turn... All right. I don't think Fatal Pushing this guy actually does anything to slow down their combo, but notably they don't have double black to activate this. Oh, they can play this Crumbling Vestige, but they don't have the bear. We'll see if they luck into Mill the Bear. Looks like that is the play they're going for. Whenever I play against this deck, they always hit it, so they're likely going to hit it here. They don't hit the bear. That's crazy. They go Grazer for... Is this Lotus Field? What are we Grazering for here? Opponent. You either have a land or you don't. They have the Lotus Field. All right, let's cast Kroxa and force them to top deck Scape Shift. Sure, get in for one. I don't know if that matters. Well, do they top deck Scape Shift? They get 4 more looks at the bear. Let's go. Okay, they get Minstrel back and they concede. Oh, wow. Their deck never runs clunky, so I'm going to take the one time that we get lucky. Thank goodness. All right. Claim the Firstborn's out. Fatal Pushes out. Heartless Axe out. Feed the Swarms in. We call it, yeah. We need 2 more cards. So a Braid's in. Likely they have... Actually, no, Go Blank is good here. All right. Cut a Braid. Actually, let's go Deadly Disputes out. We probably want some amount of removal that hits Minstrel. So 2 Abrades, 2 Feed the Swarms. And we can also Thought Seize it. All right. That makes me so happy, dude. These decks always run so hot against me. So to see one like finally just not hit straight gas is so nice. Well, this was the same hand twice. We need a Thought Seize. Nice. All right. Double ley line. Luckily, Kroxa does not target. Thoughtseize is now no longer the draw we want. We want Alpine Moon. Let's cast this Blood Tithe Harvester. It applies the most pressure and just a random force them to discard 1 on turn 2. All right, they have Spelunking. Do they have Lotus Field? Crumbling Vestige. Aftermath Analyst. Wow. Oh, we draw the Thoughtseize. What a nuts start from our opponent. Double Leyline into Turn Things Spelunking into Aftermath Analyst. Are you really sure you want to lose? All right, well, Thoughtseize is useless here. So is this Dreadhorde Arcanist is probably not doing anything. So let's go cast Kroxa. Trigger Moonshadow. They discard a Minstrel. And yeah, let's discard this. Speed the clock up. And get in for 6. Are we Thought Seizing ourselves next turn? Oh no, we're not, because they have the Lotus Field too. Now are we dead here? They have the port, so if they I don't. Was there another way we could have played this? This didn't kill the analyst. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So our opponent is. They made up for their game 1 lack of luck. Okay, good game. And that's exactly what I mean. By this deck always just draws absolute gas. All right, game 3. Let's bring some Fatal Pushes back in now that we see the Aftermath Analysts. And let's click Resubmit and hope we draw an Alpine Moon this time. That was... Oh boy, double Leyline into turn 3 kill. All right, this hand is risky, but we have a Feed the Swarm. I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, we find an Alpine Moon. We don't have anything to cast with these Dreadhorde Arcanists, so we will put 1 to the bottom. Opponent is on a mulligan as well. And opponent does not have a Leyline. All right, we mill a Kroxa. Oh, they know about the Alpine Moons. Still nothing to cast off Dreadhorde Arcanist. All right, Blood Crypt untapped, Dreadhorde Arcanist, and get in for 1. This is slightly slower, but it makes a top-decked Thoughtseize just go crazy. All right. Harvester, attack for 2. And next turn we can discard this Fatal Push. Yeah, never lucky. They're on the Spelunking instead of the Minstrel. There's all our lands and another Fatal Push. Okay. Discard. Nah, we just have to play. Yeah, we have to play Alpine Moon this turn, don't we? So we can Dreadhorde Arcanist. I think we're just sacking Dreadhorde Arcanist to itself. No, we'll sacrifice the Blood Tithe Harvester. All right, those are good finds. We get to go Moon Shadow Alpine Moon. Name Lotus Field. Are we naming Lotus Field or Port here? Lotus Field lets them just get Lotus Fields into play untapped now. And they don't have to sacrifice lands. So if they go... What are we naming here? I think we name Port. Because it stops the... Yeah, this is Port. Yeah, let's name Port here. This stops the combo as well and makes their load... If we name Lotus Field here and they have Boseiju, it's just way too bad for us. They have a Crumbling Vestige. They have another land drop this turn. All right, just a stock up from our opponent. Land lets us Kroxa. Thoughtseize is the best draw by a lot here. Ruin Crab doesn't do anything. Okay. Well, Feed the Swarm, you're a little bit late. We needed you last turn. We discard Blood Tithe Harvester. Or are we discarding Fatal Push? So we Fatal Push Ruin Crab. We're for sure Fatal Pushing Ruin Crab this turn. I think we're discarding this Blood Tithe Harvester, trigger Moon Shadow. And now I think we are going to cash in our Dreadhorde Arcanist for 2 cards. Yeah, so start by discarding here. Grow the Moon Shadow. Unless we draw a Thoughtseize. All right, second Feed the Swarm. All right, so Village Rites, Moon Arcanist, I'm sorry. Just a claim, but we need to kill this Ruin Crab this turn. And get in for 3. Brutal, we didn't find any lands here. All right, another stock up. Not great for us, but it doesn't kill us. Do they have Lotus Field? They have a Grazer. What land are we putting into play here? Conduit pylons. Do they have their Lotus Field? They have another Spelunking. Menace. All right, we have. So we can Croxa them down to 0 cards here. And this is. What's going on here? Average. Okay. So we play Croxa and claim Croxa to get them empty handed. Make Moonshadow a 5/5. And now they're into top deck mode. What does this do? Sacrifice this land. Okay, so Croxa goes away, Moonshadow triggers. And claim Croxa, get the last card out of their hand. Put them to 3. Oh, it was Escape Shift. Let's go. Oh, we get Escape Shift out of their hand. Do they top deck another Escape Shift? Let's go. I think that means we win. Is that this? Let's go. I mean, they could have made another Grazer. Oh, it feels so nice to win that matchup. Oh, thank goodness.